Welcome, y'all. Good morning. Hope you're having a great morning. I'm excited to share with you some of our strategies for crushing sales on search engines. Specifically, we're going to talk a lot about Pinterest, but a lot of the strategies that we're using apply to pretty much any search engine, whether it's YouTube, Google, even TikTok really has a lot of search features, and give you guys some strategy on what kind of creatives work, how to use keywords, and all of that good stuff to help you crush it on some new marketing channels. And that works for info products, e-com, any kind of coaching, all these kinds of things work really great on Pinterest. You can definitely check us out on social media. And there's a free Pinterest ads workbook for you, a free download available at pins4profit.com if you want to check that out. Happy to answer any questions that y'all have as well when it comes to your journey with Pinterest. And if we haven't met yet, what is up? My name's Lindsay Shearer. I am the founder of Brand Ranks Media and Pins for Profit. We do a lot of work with SEO, mainly for e-com, and Pinterest ads for e-com, and coaching, info products, all of those kinds of things. And of course, we really want to help you guys get a clear picture of what it takes to open a new marketing channel when it comes to search. So my goal is really to give you a clear understanding of the power of Pinterest and the power of SEO just in general, so you can start to think about what it looks like when you're creating content for search behavior. And so Pinterest really is not just for wedding planning anymore. I was actually reading a ton of articles this morning from the Pinterest CEO, and there's a lot of info that's coming out about the earnings reports and all of these kinds of things. Pinterest is having a great comeback, but it's something that I always knew when I was started to explore SEO. I realized that Google features Pinterest as a very important or one of the most highly relevant sites on the internet. So when you start creating content for Pinterest, it's going to rank on multiple search engines. So that's why one of the reasons why successful brands are relying on it on Pinterest ads, because the demographic is amazing. You have really good high quality search behavior happening. You have the perfect place to influence affluent female buyers, and you can literally bring regular traffic by promoting to your audience that kind of lasts for a long time. So a lot of things that we're going to cover here. I'm going to go as quickly as I can. I talk really fast, so definitely this is going to be recorded for y'all. We definitely want to master the mindset of what it takes to think through content creation on search engines. Want to give you some really good sales strategies that work for Pinterest and work for SEO. And we're going to show you a little bit of information on just some evergreen, what it looks like to create evergreen content that's a little bit longer term, that lasts longer, because we're all used to social media being, 24-hour cycle. So this is a much longer cycle, and you've got to think through that. But I've been featured everywhere, pretty much on every search engine journal, you name it. Social media site, work with some really great brands, and we're doing like over $100 million a year for our clients, just specifically on Pinterest, which is a little crazy. And of course, there are a lot of things that we face as advertisers. One of them is rising ad costs and deliverability, and there's always volatility. If you guys have been running ads for any period of time, you understand that there's always some kind of volatility with ads. So it's really nice to create a really good search strategy that's going to give you a baseline brand growth plan. I always call it like my 401k of marketing. And that's creating a really good, solid, stable strategy that you're going to be able to hit on search engines that has better conversion rates, higher quality audience, and much longer lasting staying power. Some of the reasons why we love Pinterest, and maybe you've never tried Pinterest before, I totally get it. A lot of people come and say, I hear about it all the time and I don't know what to do, or I haven't tried it before. So totally understand if you have no idea where to start, or maybe you have tried it before, didn't have a real strategy, weren't really working with the Pinterest buying behavior, not patient enough for the results, which I see all the time, or you didn't really have a good strategy. I can assure you that Pinterest has amazing results, and they're always improving their ads platform. So we literally just see crazy things happening on Pinterest. So there's a lot of opportunity there. If you haven't considered it and you think your ideal audience might be on Pinterest, I would absolutely consider it as a viable channel for both ads and organic marketing. And of course, we've all experienced disapproved products, non-existent customer support, ad bans, all of that kind of stuff. We have much, much, much less of that on Pinterest and with SEO than you do that's why we get kind of some fringy type of just different types of things that you can't always advertise, like supplements and things like that you have a hard time sometimes running ads for. And Pinterest drives major high quality traffic. We are seeing some of our cheapest cost per leads that are high quality And 63% of planners on Pinterest are making purchases. So, and there are a lot of different brands that we've worked with. I would say beauty brands, gifts, hair care, home decor, mom and baby brands, obviously, fashion brands, skincare, supplements, info product, courses, parenting, gardening. There's so many things that I've tried on there. And as time goes on, more and more brands are having success on there, even brands that are just strictly men's products, which were things that we didn't think that we would ever have that good of success before. But 51% of the users are on the platform at least once a week. 91% of users on Pinterest have purchased something from Pinterest before. And there's just massive engagement. There's a lot of opportunity for newer brands with unbranded search because it's a keyword search engine. So if you're ranking really great for your keywords, you don't necessarily have to be out, or you may be outranking your competition that has larger, more forward-facing brands. So, and there are tons of users on there and always and growing. And there are a lot of things that make Pinterest different. It's the 10th largest search engine on the planet, in case you didn't know, which is crazy. Lots of people have made a purchase on Pinterest before, and people are using Pinterest to plan their purchases. So the buyer intention is much higher on there. They're actually going on there to plan purchases and saving money and planning money and all of that kind of stuff. 63% of users have over $100,000 a year in income, and they're on there at least once a week. And of course, 40% of new users are men, which is kind of crazy. Like I was saying, that a lot of new products are men's products that are showing up and we're getting really good results on. So, and there are 5 major missed opportunities, I would say, on Pinterest. First of all, Pinterest is a visual search engine. So you want to create a mixture of social media content and search content, and people can save things and come back later and look at them, buy things, all that kind of stuff. So it's important to make things visually appealing and to visually show up in search as well. You want to approach your ads differently than different platforms. A lot of people will share things just directly from Instagram or Facebook, and Pinterest really has its own unique approach, and we're going to talk more about that. And then, of course, you want to use search content and intention-based marketing, which is really looking at keywords and how people are searching for their products and how they're thinking about searching for their products. And of course, the creatives and funnels are a little bit different on Pinterest as well. It's very education-based. People are definitely doing their research and figuring out what they like and what they want to buy. And of course, cross-channel tracking and reporting is a little bit of an art of mastery. We all kind of go through this on all of our reporting channels, and we've had to come up with some custom solutions on Pinterest because it is a little bit harder to track sometimes with the delayed attribution buying behavior, where people see an image, they save it, they come back later to purchase. So the buying cycle is typically longer. It's around 20 days, the average amount of time it takes to convert a customer on Pinterest. That's average. I would say whatever you're getting on Facebook, you probably want to double that just to be safe, maybe a little bit longer in your initial spending and your initial new ads on Pinterest. And of course, we have created essentially our pin ranks ecosystem, which involves creative, our optimization, our tracking and targeting to really give you a unique chance of success on Pinterest. And so we're going to talk about that too. And really you just want to think about what is it costing you to fill your funnels? What are your costs per leads, your cost per million impressions? That's one of the great things that we're seeing about Pinterest is it has really, really good high quality traffic that is much cheaper than Facebook, Instagram, all of that kind of stuff. And of course, you want to know your target KPIs. We see really good average order values on Pinterest, higher average order values. I've sold things like expensive furniture and really high quality Persian rugs and all different kinds of things like that are thousands and thousands of dollars that we have a really good high AOV because people, again, are planning purchases and they're thinking through their purchases. And of course, your target cost per acquisition, we have really good CPAs on Pinterest, great ROAS on average 2x to 5x in general at scale, which is pretty good. And sometimes it's even better when you're not what I would consider at scale, which would be less than 30,000 a month in spend. Of course, great cost per millions impressions. And there's a ton of monthly spend opportunities. Some of our clients are spending $1 million. I mean, we spend $1.5 million a day sometimes during the holiday season for some of our clients. So, and during Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, Father's Day, there's some really good opportunities. Black Friday, obviously, all of that kind of stuff. So, and because Pinterest is a search engine, it has really good organic staying power. So the length of time an image lasts on Pinterest is a long time. So when you're creating content, you want to think about, is this going to be something that's a little bit more evergreen? I don't usually recommend doing like super short-term last minute sales or 3-day sales or things like that on Pinterest because the amount of time that it takes to actually get the ads up and running and get them warmed up enough to get served properly in your algorithm is not long enough for, a week even. Usually we try and recommend at least a month. We're doing like more monthly promos, having some evergreen promos, things like that. Like I said, our average clients are getting 2x to 5x at scale. So there's just kind of some radical numbers, and that's all across the board, Europe, Australia, you name it. So, and of course, if you want to create irresistible Pinterest sales, you have to remember that you're mastering Pinterest buying behavior, which is a little bit different than your other channel buying behavior. I call Pinterest a pre-search and discovery engine because it does present a unique way and unique perspective on how people are searching on there. People are planning their purchases. They're searching for things. This is a lot of time the very first place that they go. So they're just getting an idea of what they want to purchase. You have very visual search, you have a keyword strategy, you have long-term strategy. So I always like to use the analogy of, think about, you're going to remodel your living room. So before you go to Amazon or before you go to Google and buy stuff, or even Lowe's or whatever, you're looking at, okay, what kind of color schemes do I want? What kind of furniture do I like? What kind of rugs do I like? What kind of lighting do I want? What paint colors? All of these kinds of things. And you're saving different ideas. And so the buying cycle for Pinterest is going to be longer than other platforms because it's like still the pre-planning, pre-search phase. So you've got to think through that as you're creating content as well. It's like, okay, people are searching things like what color rugs look the best in a farmhouse kitchen, or something like that. So as you're thinking through those things, you can start to create content that's based on this intent-based targeting. So you're looking at customized audience demographics. What are they searching for? What are they looking at? Obviously, your visual search and discovery tools. There's a lot of Pinterest keyword research tools, and making sure that you're actually thinking through how the buyer is coming to the platform and how they're using the platform. So really, Pinterest is a match and a mixture of intention-based search, what we just described, and also keyword-based search. So when you're setting up your ad sets and things like that, you have the option to do interest-based targeting and then also keyword-based targeting as well. You also want to make sure everything that you're creating is searchable. So how are you using keywords? You want to be using keywords on your images, in your descriptions, in your content, in everything that you're sharing, for sure. And you want to have a visual search and creative strategy, so that you have to think about, okay, if you saves this image and they come back to their board later and they see this image and they forgot about it, you want to make sure that they can see a whole entire package of what they're looking for on that image. So that's why I recommend you make sure you have your logo and all of that kind of stuff, so they know exactly where you are, and your live links and all of that stuff are live. And of course, with your long-term strategy, we're also optimizing our ads to have organic staying power as well, because your ads will get saved. People will see them later. So you want to make sure that even your ads have some organic appeal as well. So like I said, when you think about Pinterest as a pre-search engine, people are going to Pinterest generally months before they're getting retargeted with an ad on Facebook or whatever. And so this creates a unique opportunity here with the ability to influence shopping decisions before they maybe even know anything about your brand, or before they know exactly what they want to buy, before they go to Google or Amazon to buy that. Where their shopping decisions kind of are already made. Same is true for when they're getting retargeted on Facebook and those kinds of things later. So you have a really unique opportunity here to actually influence their buying decisions. And that is why trust is insanely important, and the entire customer journey needs to be addressed on Pinterest. And this is true for every search engine too. So you really want to think through what kind of content you're creating. Are you creating trust? How are they, are your keywords actually matching the content? So you don't want to be saying blue t-shirt and ranking for blue t-shirt, but you're actually selling like home goods or something. You want to have really, really good, clear intention. And you also want to think about, what problems are you solving? This is really important for Google, TikTok, YouTube as well, because people are looking for solutions to their problems. So they're looking up, how do I solve this problem? How do I create a video? How do I find this rug, or whatever it is that they're looking for? So you want to have a very good mix of intention-based problem-solving keywords. And then, of course, there is some really good news on Pinterest, because a lot of people think it is a social media site, but really it's a search engine. So it's not the same as Instagram, where you need to get 1 million followers, and if you don't, then people aren't going to see your content, and maybe they see it with hashtags. It's not true for Pinterest, not true for Google either. You really, instead of being popular or worried about being popular or being seen or commenting or all that kind of stuff, you really just need to worry about, are you actually showing up in search? And that is really what's going to make you profitable. And that's one of the biggest issues why people have mild mediocre success on Pinterest, is because they're not actually creating a search-based strategy or a visual search strategy or a keyword strategy. So what that generally looks like and what I recommend is making sure that you're having intention-based targeting, that you use the e-com system, which is like looking at the optimization of your different audiences, making sure that you're hitting that intention-based targeting and your keywords, you're optimizing it more slowly on Pinterest, and you're also setting yourself up to scale long-term as well. So you definitely want to make sure that you're discovering research. You're kind of in that research phase of thinking for your buyers. You want to have really good luxury images and messaging. You definitely want to launch ads. Definitely is minimum, I would say, if you're doing an organic strategy, trying to do some retargeting ads. And then, of course, starting to scale those ads as time goes on. And of course, like I said, you want to address the entire client journey. So thinking about what it looks like from them to see before, when they're very first starting their topic, all the way through the process of what does it look like even when they've purchased from you to come back and purchase something else from you, or right when they're in that decision to make that buying decision, coming back, seeing your image and like, oh yeah, I remember that. Now I remember I want to order that. So, and of course we have really good media plans. So we're constantly sharing content on Pinterest. You definitely want to be consistent on your content creation. Okay, so for Pinterest keywords, there's some really great free tools that they have where you can check out some really good keyword rankings. The trends tool, trends.pinterest.com, is amazing. It shows you a prediction of the next year long of trends on Pinterest, and it's 80% accurate. So you can get an idea of what's trending, and as you're creating content, especially organic content, making sure that you're hitting trending keywords. Those are all in there, which is really great. And then you can also use the search feature, similar to the search feature that you would go to on Google. And when you start typing in a search, you're going to see kind of a drop down of different options of some potential keywords that you can rank for that are amazing. And that's going to give you an idea as well of what your competitors are ranking for, what is really ranking. You can type in the keywords that you want to use and you can see, okay, most of the time you're going to see that you have a really good opportunity because a lot of people are not using this strategy. So once you start using this strategy, you're going to much more easily rank. So, and you definitely want to think about your images and creatives. So I'm going to go through just a little bit of things that I recommend for images and videos. Definitely want to have your logo on everything that you do, because it will get saved, and you definitely want people to remember who you are when they come back later to purchase. Large text, you don't have to worry about any 20% rules, and make sure it's easy to read and engaging action. I like to use bright colors that stop the scroll, discount code, and then title and headline. So Pinterest is kind of a little bit, so we do kind of a mix, I will say, when it comes to the color palettes. Sometimes we'll do a mix of really native content that looks like it's matching all the things that are going on in Pinterest, which is a little bit more of a muted kind of color profile. And then we always mix in a lot of really good bright colors so that we can stop the scroll. Especially with our ads, we test a lot of things to make sure that we're actually stopping the scroll and people are clicking on our ads. And of course, you want to have your product image. I always have a ton of different images that even for the same products. So highly recommend that. And then for videos, you want to also have the same sizing, like that same longer sizing, 7 to 15 seconds, I recommend. Show the logo the entire time. You want to have closed captions, fun and engaging, obviously autoplay, a good call to action. And we typically use music, even though I would say majority of people on Pinterest don't have their audio on, but we always do music anyway, fun and engaging, or videos similar to what you would do for Instagram, but just longer frame and probably a little bit more salesy than Instagram. So are your offers geared towards the Pinterest audience? You definitely want to think about, are you creating some education-based content? Because Pinterest originally was created kind of as a blogging platform. So are you creating content that's ever looking bloggy, or recipes or things like that people on Pinterest are using and are interested in? So even skincare routines and beauty products and shampoo products and things like that, we do recommend doing even some carousels that are geared towards a Pinterest education-based audience. And then, of course, having landing pages and conversion rates that work. So we do a lot of landing pages sometimes that look like, we call them, they're like hybrid pages where they're essentially like a hero page where you have some videos, you have a mixture of a landing page and a mixture of almost like a content page that has a little bit more education based information on there than maybe some of your other your other pages. So there are a lot of different types of ads as well on Pinterest. You have brand awareness, search awareness, shopping, which I personally love. They're some of my favorite. They have some of the best returns. Conversion campaigns, which are more like what we think about optimizing for add to cart and purchases. You can sell courses, you can do done for you services, obviously e-commerce, we straight to product sales, we do community building, live events. And of course, you just want to have a really good consistent strategy, and you want to make sure that you have enough budget to test a solid strategy on Pinterest, because it is going to take a little bit longer. I usually recommend when you're going into Pinterest and you want to start testing a new budget, that you at least budget for about 4 to 5 months of having a good solid ad spend strategy, so you can see the opportunity for it to scale, and you can start to see that opportunity for the delayed attribution to show up as well. And you want to create consistent sales system, which essentially just means that you're creating more content and you're consistently trying to scale, and you're working through, even with the budgeting. So if you think about it, like, this is the way I usually describe it to our clients: is month one, we're testing a lot of things. We're kind of going through audiences, we're going through targeting, we're looking at keywords, we're creating tons of content, and we're putting a lot of things up there. And then by end of month one, month two, we're starting to see some winners, some things pulling out. We're adding more budget. We're trying more things. By month three, we really should start seeing some really great winners. And then by month four, you're going to start to see what has happened at scale when you essentially like leave your campaigns on and you're hitting that delay. So month four, you're going to start to see in month 2 and 3 the number of results. So all the time I tell my clients, okay, it's the beginning of, say, for example, it's the beginning of May. If you look at your numbers for April now, they're going to be totally different than what they were at the end of April. So the delayed attribution, it's a lot. So you definitely want to take that into consideration when you're looking at your buying cycles. And we actually do reports twice a month where we're looking at, okay, this is the delay, and then this is the report again 2 weeks later with more delay on it. So you can actually get a better picture of what's going on. And then as you start to get those winners, then you can start creating more scaling and really getting a better idea of like, okay, this is what our audiences are looking for. We can try some other audiences sort of in this same similar interest targeting, or we can look at and add in some more additional keywords and those kinds of things as well. So with all of these elements, you have a great recipe for success.